Hey everyone, what is up? First and foremost, Merry Christmas. I hope you all are having a great Christmas and you got your gifts or you're celebrating with your family or whatever you do in this holiday. Hope it's going well. But without further ado, let's get right into chapter 603 of Tower of God. We start off with Dumas telling Balrire that he just cannot play in this game, that he was given a direct order from Gustang to capture Bomb. And of course, the game is rigged under Balrire's rule. And it is rigged in a way to let Dumas attack Bomb or have a way to get himself in a situation where he is close to Bomb and capture him. So yeah, it's pretty bullshit and unfair towards Traumerei, but what do you expect? I mean, this is probably one of the concoctions that Traumerei said they were cooking up, and of course this might come into fruition, but I really do think Bomb can handle Dumas at this point. So we get the chess pieces and what they represent, and Bomb is represented as the queen of this chess game. So yeah, I mean, Bomb is very versatile, so that makes sense that he is the queen. But it's very selfless of Bomb to think that, oh no, I should have been the king, so somebody else wouldn't have to take the burden of being the target of everyone. Yeah, so I thought that was really nice of Bomb to say. I'm not surprised he said that. This is pretty interesting for him, and we'll see how this plays out with him as being the queen. We then cut into a scene, well, the next scene where Hwaryun is guiding Rachel and the Pobra douchebag and Yura to where Enkidu is. Now we know it's Enkidu. And yeah, so this was a long time ago, ever since we've seen Hwaryun guiding them. It looks like she recovered now and she's doing good. Hwaryun is not afraid of Rachel and she continuously backtalks to her even though she's in chains and they have the upper hand on her, which is really nice to see. Rachel deserves it. She's such an asshole. And yeah, don't feel bad for Rachel at all, what happened to her in this chapter. So they reach a door and it requires a key or someone worthy of opening it. Rachel studies this door and she then pulls out the artifact that was in Jihad's floor, that was in Data Jihad's possession in the hidden floor. And yeah, it's the little watch, the Fitbit watch, Apple Watch thingy. And she pulls it out, she puts it on her wrist, and she's able to pull the door and open up the chamber. She kind of fumbles with this, and it just shows that Rachel, I mean, she's not really suited for this. I mean, if she pulled the lock and it kind of fell on top of her or made her, I don't know. This could just be a gag, but I think it's just that's how you showing that Rachel is just not capable of doing anything beyond just being a rat. So now we see Enkidu and it just looks like a giant floating head inside a cube of jelly pretty much. And yeah, Enkidu looks very humane even though they called him an animal. And yeah, he has horns and he looks very pissed off even when he's sleeping. So they wake up Enkidu and this motherfucker starts screaming like a banshee. He starts screaming and he does not stop. He's making everyone's eardrums fucking bleed. Hwaryun is the only one not fazed by this, and she starts giving us some background information of Enkidu and some lore about his past and what his origins are. And yeah, so this looks like Enkidu came from the workshop master as a gift to the Lopabio family. And Traumerei tried to tame this thing and make it into a human, but I guess it failed. So that's probably why Enkidu looks more like a human head than anything else. He kind of looks really deformed. He just has the face, the head, and then the bottom is kind of he got ripped out of a body and it's just a spine is sticking out. I don't know. He looks really weird. And yeah, so Hwaryun also notes that he's probably the one who harbors the most hate towards Traumerei, which is surprising because we all know Leviathan is very hateful towards Traumerei. He really wants to kill him. So it looks like there are a lot of things that really hate Traumerei because of all the things he's done to them and all the trauma he's put them through. Traumerei just does not care about anything. He just wants to get his experiments done and he doesn't care how people feel about him. And yeah, this guy's a dick. I don't know why anyone would want to save him. So Rachel starts asking Hwaryun for help or how she could do this, and then Hwaryun just backtalks to her again and says, well, aren't you the qualified one? Aren't you the one that's supposed to handle this since you're so qualified to do this and you're determined to achieve this goal? And Rachel just gets pissed off. She's like, don't fucking belittle me. And she starts chugging along and she tries to disable Enkidu's shield, and she does, and it makes things worse. She uses the Fitbit artifact to she uses just the power of it pretty much to disable the shield. And yeah, with this artifact, I really thought it wasn't real. There's no way Gustang would just hand this over to a mere regular. I mean, technically Rachel's an irregular, but she's really weak. She doesn't have the potential that Bomb has or any of the other regulars have. She's just, technically a regular, but not really the power or potential of an irregular. And with this attack that Rachel unleashes, it looks like kind of the Shinzu black hole sphere energy that Gustang has been using in his battleships. Enkidu is freed and he starts growing in size, and that gelatin around him, it just starts taking the shape of a body. So Yura rushes to help Rachel, and it's just to no avail. Like, nothing they can do is stopping Enkidu, and he is just awakening, he's growing in power, and he's getting more and more pissed off with these people around him. He's completely out of control, and now they're thinking of escaping. So Yura, Rachel, the Pobedal guy, they're all thinking of, God, we need to get out of here. And of course, Hwaryun just snuck out with all the commotion going on and all the drama and all the trouble. She just snuck out from behind them and locked them in. Hwaryun meets with Gustang, and of course they were working together, and they just got everything to come into fruition by using Rachel as kind of the awakening for Enkidu. So Hwaryun kind of explains what's going on here, and yeah, she says that the bracelet is pretty much like a replica of the real one, which is not surprising. Like, I would have questioned why Gustang would give Rachel the real bracelet that's capable of potentially disabling the spell of immortality, the construct of immortality the family leaders have, and killing them. Why would he give her such a powerful artifact for something like Enkidu that's not as nearly as powerful as a family leader? So yeah, it looks like Gustang got the workshop to make a replica of the real bracelet and incorporate like a very small fraction of the power it kind of has. Maybe it does have that Shinzu black hole sphere energy, and yeah, he incorporated it into that bracelet, and Rachel used it to open up the door and to awaken Enkidu. And surprisingly, Hwaryun notes that Rachel is qualified to host Enkidu, but like at the same time she's not. So what I'm getting here is that, like I said earlier, Rachel's an irregular technically, right? So there are things like Leviathan that can only talk to irregulars. Like, we saw Leviathan couldn't talk to anyone for all this time until Bomb came in, and like he was able to talk to him telepathically. So it looks like Rachel's kind of the same way, since she technically is an irregular, but she just does not have the physical body or the potential to host things like Enkidu and Leviathan in her. Like, these are things she just can't do because it's not in her to do it like Bomb. So yeah, that's very interesting, and it looks like Gustang was just using these people all this time to just put his plans into fruition. And Hwaryun just does not give a fuck. She's like, well, I'm gonna go now. She just dismisses herself in front of her family leader, and Gustang breaks her chains, and he also says that we will try to communicate with Enkidu, if not, I will fight it. So we get back into the scene where Rachel, the Pobedal douchebag, and Yura are like trying to escape. Rachel is using all that power in a bracelet to get out, and it is not working. And the guy is already getting his arms torn up, and it looks like it's just losing. Everyone's losing here. And as soon as Enkidu is making one final attack to crush them all, Yura says like, come on, we need to avoid it. But it's looking like way too late to avoid it. And as soon as that attack is about to hit them, Gustang burns it, and he just burns himself into the sprout, and he starts talking to Enkidu. For once, Enkidu stops screaming, and he makes a shocked expression, and he looks at Gustang. So Gustang, I guess he could not awaken Enkidu all this time. He needed Rachel to do it for him. I don't know why. I guess because she's quote unquote special. Yeah, now Enkidu's attention is focused on Gustang, and we're gonna see if Gustang can actually talk with his screaming Banshee, and if he doesn't just have to put him down, or maybe he can force him in Bomb like he kind of did with the second Thorn. I don't know why he's feeding Bomb so much. Everyone's feeding him though. Like, Traumerei fed him Leviathan, he didn't do shit about it. Everybody doesn't care. The Bomb's just collecting powers left and right. With that said, the chapter ends, and I guess we're gonna see an Enkidu versus Gustang potentially, or we're gonna see if Enkidu actually has thoughts and if he can actually talk instead of just screaming all the time. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. We're also going to see what happens with Dumas versus Bomb, or who's the king on either side. There's a lot that's going to come into fruition pretty soon, and it's going to be very exciting. But with all that said, thank you so much for listening, guys. I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope you have a Merry Christmas. And yeah, I'll see you in the next chapter.